Yo, GK Nation. GPS. The Grown Folks Podcast.
Oh my God. Welcome to the podcast.
An extension of the Grown Folks Kids Show. Introducing the host with the most, the great gun. Keeping it here. This is going to be fun. Because I'm Batman. Yo. Hey, what's going on, people? Hey, all right, man, listen. What's going on? We're happy to hear from you in season 5. You know what I'm saying? We're doing another episode here. And listen, we've been talking about wrestling and comics and all that stuff. It's time to get on some sports stuff, man. I'm ready to talk some sports since I'm a sports guy. You know what I'm saying? You're the comic guy, really. And now it's time for you to go in my realm.
Dwell in your realm.
We're going to dwell in my realm for a while. One realm I won't dwell with him in is in gaming. I can't dwell in that realm because I'm not a big gamer. I appreciate games. I like game movies like Uncharted. You know, that's probably going to be cool. I want to see what this is all about.
Uncharted was good.
Yeah,
I saw it.
You saw it? It was good.
I did a short review. Didn't watch it?
Man, I did. Yeah. Hey, but listen. Y'all, guess what, though? This is a good one. We're going to go old-time greats versus new greats, right? Pretty much LeBron versus Michael. Tyson Fury's name's getting brought up there with Muhammad Ali. You know, he's still got some time to go, but after these last fights, and you watch his background, his history on his family, you're going to say, oh, man, if he does what he do, it's going to be an argument. And then I'm going to say it'll be an argument. Now, I say it'll be true, but it's going to be an argument. Tom Brady being goats of goats. You know, who else we were talking about?
Michael Phelps.
Old greats versus new greats, right? All right, so let's talk here. First of all, welcome to the Grown Folks Kids Show's GPS, the podcast. And let us navigate you through our mind, because it is a wonderful place to be.
Yes, it is.
If you want to listen more to our old stuff and how we get down, how we this is the first time I'm hearing these guys. I wonder what they were like before. Go to our old stuff. It's all right there, posted up there on Podbean, whatever platform you use, okay, Spotify, whatever, okay, Apple, iTunes, whatever. Just go in there and type in Grown Folks Kids Shows GPS. You got to type it all in there, okay? You can also do the same thing on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, okay? You'll pull us up, go to grownfolkskidsshow.com, and there's a link to our television show. Channel 14 local there for people who are local. We're on TV, Channel 14. It's being syndicated. It's running around. We did 6 episodes and then go through all 6 episodes back and forth in a giant loop. Okay. We'll do summertime. We're going to start taping our other TV show for a new season. But if you want all that information, go to grownfolkskidsshow.com. It has our podcasts, news. We're doing Comic Cons and all that here pretty soon. We're going to be doing all kinds of cool things. Okay, so got that all out the way. Let's talk about some greats. Are you ready for some greats?
Yes, we're going to talk about some greats.
Sports. You don't like sports? You might as well get off this podcast. You love sports? You're going to want to listen. Because here's the thing. When you do old-time greats versus the new stuff, I listen to, I watch religiously Colin Cowherd's The First Take, First Thing First. I try to watch Shannon and Skip, not as much as I used to. I listen to everybody, and NBA Today, all that stuff. You got to listen to it all, and I listen to it all. That's what I do. All right, so, but what I never hear, Charles.
What don't you hear?
Is
since you calling me by my government name.
By your government name. Because I'm Trey Irvin. Who are you?
I'm the great Gunny today.
Okay. You're the great gunner today.
I'm the great gunner.
We're going to
today.
see how great he is talking about these greats. What I don't ever hear, Charles,
What don't you hear?
is lots of emotions, a lot of stats, a lot of, what I think, one thing I don't have a lot of these pundits do is this is their job 24 hours a day. I mean, all day long. Okay. So they go get the stats, they go back, go into history, dig all this stuff up. We're just talking podcasts right off the couch. Okay. So I'm not going to get too far into deep stuff to try to make a point. Sometimes when you want to make a point, it's very simple. And what we need to do is when you compare the all-time greats, yes, the legends, the Babe Ruths, the Michael Jordans, the Tiger Woods,
Tom Brady.
the Tom Bradys,
Peyton Mannings.
Joe Montana, actually, okay? All right, because Tom Brady's compared to Joe Montana, right? All right.
Okay.
Right. So you have the Muhammad Ali. Now, it's hard to do because we're dipping into human psychology. And human psychology is when someone reached God mode, okay, like Roman Reigns says, he says, son, when he was talking to Seth Rollins, because they ain't faced each other in a long time. He says, you haven't been watching lately? I'm not the old Roman Reigns that you used to beat all the time. You ain't watched lately? I'm in God mode. Which is true. He's the only reason why anybody want to watch WWE right now. Okay? He's in God mode right now. Okay?
Okay.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. When you reach God mode, people will automatically say that no one can ever be as great as you. But, you have to understand, you have to reach that mode. You have to actually go through what you have to go through to get to that place, right? So that means it's possible another person can come along in history and do greater. Okay? All right? And it's possible. But when you listen to folks, it seems like it's already a done deal that it never, ever happened again. That's why I don't use the word never. Okay? I thought I'd never ever see the Triple Crown in baseball. We got to see it. I never thought that a team will actually win a Super Bowl in their hometown. We got to see it 2 years in a row.
Yep.
Right? There's a lot of nevers that get broken out of the blue. I never thought I would ever see a triple-double and a person average a triple-double in a full season. We got to see it. Right? So you can't never say never. Right?
Right.
Okay. So what I don't see people do is, if I'm comparing Michael Jordan and these greats to the new greats, you got to take them off the throne for a second and try to compare them to each other instead of one to the great. I know we're talking about, is he better than
Why
this
do you
great?
got to take them off their throne?
Just for a second.
Why?
I said period. I said take them down.
Why?
I say take them out of God mode.
Okay.
God status, put them in people person mode with the other person you're trying to compare them to. Compare them jointly together to see how things match. What I'm saying in a way is saying, take the nostalgia away for a second, okay? Take the emotions away for a second. Actually compare these guys' careers and stuff, and then let's have an argument from that. Because you get to the point with the whole LeBron and Michael thing is all that's left is emotions.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know why I say that?
Why?
What is left? What is the argument? What's the argument with Michael? Well, 6 rings. Well, okay, what's his name's got 11. Well, there was only 12 teams in those days. Well, you said rings.
Hey, look, you're talking to a Celtics fan, so I hold Bill out there.
Well, but I'm just saying.
That's why I feel the same way about Kareem.
I'm just saying you can't use a ring argument. Okay, don't use the rings. Well, you never lost in the championship. Okay, it's good for him. That takes a lot. You mean he didn't lose? You mean him, Phil, and
his teams didn't lose.
His team didn't lose.
Right.
You act like Michael Jordan won those championships by himself. Then when people act like that, then now here comes my counter argument. If Michael Jordan's then that damn great, if he's that great. Okay, all right. Then how come he's never won one without Phil Jackson? Phil Jackson took 2 other teams to the championship game and won more with the system. Michael Jordan never won another. Never. Shoot. he got bounced out in second rounds when he became a Wizard. If he was that great, why he couldn't win one Wizard? Tom Brady won one with the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Different sport.
I know. I'm just saying, a great went to a different team in the back end of his career and won a championship
Different
because
sport.
he's great.
Different sport. Tom Brady didn't take a break in between that. Tom Brady went from one team to the next.
Okay, fine. He didn't take a break, but
Right.
Tom Brady is great enough to win at 45.
Hey.
That's almost nearly never heard. No one's done that.
So before we go any further,
But
let
go
me
ahead.
say something. Before we go any
So
further,
that's why I mean. Compare
I
the
agree
greats.
with you on that. But if
Right,
you're
right,
going,
right.
if you're going,
And then put
to,
him back on the throne.
if you're going to do that,
Okay.
what did they say about Peyton Manning when he won with Denver?
What?
That he didn't win the Super Bowl, his defense did, but he gets the recognition.
Well, that's true, but because Peyton Manning was really a shell out there. He was all broken down. Tom Brady actually was. They were talking about, shoot, Tom Brady almost won the MVP this year.
No. I'm just asking you a question.
Right. So that
Because
it's
to be
kind of
honest,
different. Oh.
Peyton Manning's always the coach.
Oh yeah. You don't take that away from him.
So Peyton Manning was the coach.
Just physically,
of the team
he couldn't do
regardless.
anything.
Yeah,
He couldn't-
physically he couldn't
right,
because
he
of that
couldn't.
neck injury.
Yeah, his body was broken down.
Right.
That defense was all-time great defense too.
Oh, most definitely.
Top 5 defense of all time.
Most definitely.
So,
Not taking that away.
right. At the air,
But when it comes to, and so Tom Brady, LeBron James,
no fly
Michael
zone.
Jordan, Muhammad Ali, the Dallas Cowboys, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Raiders have fans that will make you will argue a fact that you can't defend because of their passion for that individual or that team.
Well, yeah, and I get it. And listen, don't get it twisted, people. Like when I'm talking about, like in the case of Muhammad Ali, what he did outside of boxing and for boxing and put it all together, I don't think, I won't say it never happened again. I'm not going to say that. But
It's most unlikely.
well, I won't say that either.
It's unlikely
You
that
can't say that's
you're going
unlikely
to have
because
a heavyweight champion.
we don't know-
that's going to be told that you
don't-
have to go in the military, and then you choose not to go, and they say, "Well, if you can't do that, you can't box."
Okay, so what he did was he faced adversity.
And I'm not saying about no. We're not talking about adversity.
And it was adversity.
No, there's more than adversity.
It was a little more, but it's a little more than that too. Okay, we're talking about there's a lot of things because you look at Muhammad Ali. He was a boxer. He was champion for 10 years, unbeaten. No one can beat him.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, heavyweight division wasn't great, but I don't care.
But he wasn't a true heavyweight either.
No, listen. No, I ain't talking about Muhammad Ali. I'm talking about another boxer I'm about to bring up.
Oh.
No, because Muhammad Ali did get beat.
Oh, yeah. He got beat.
All right. He got beat a handful of times. So the great thing about Muhammad Ali, though, he come back stronger and he come back better. But he got beat. Okay? But I'm bringing up another boxer. Because if this type, with his stand up for civil rights, and in a time where we were fighting for the rights to just be to matter, right? In these days, right? And they were shipping us out to Vietnam and trying to do everything they can to squash out the civil rights movements and all these things you standing up for our freedom. Okay? And you will sit there and say that won't ever happen again. Well, it just did. It just did. You got a boxer who was champion for 10 years. No one can beat him. And his name was Dr. Hammerfist. And I don't care if the boxing division, they have all of your top heavyweights. Staying a champion for 10 years, fighting 2 or 3 times a year for 10 years, I don't care. It's boxing. You get caught wrong once. Mike Tyson, happened to Tyson. It happened to Muhammad Ali. It happened to all your boxing greats. They caught the wrong person at the wrong time by someone who ain't supposed to win and they lose, right? Okay? This man stayed champion for 10 years. His name is Vladimir Klitschko. That's what he's doing right now.
Oh, he's fighting in the war.
No, he's fighting. He's joining the battalion and he's picking up arms and he's going up to the line.
That's something totally different.
Well, no, what I'm saying is this. Well, this is what I'm saying.
And
He became a figure in his country. He became a mayor. He became a leader, and he put the thing down to go pick up along with all the other Ukrainian boxers, which we need to honor these guys for what they're doing, okay? Because of what our football player who did that for us.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So we can't say that these type of things will never happen again.
It's not the same. So it didn't happen.
Okay.
He didn't leave. He left on his own accord.
Right.
And he left on his own accord after he didn't want to box anymore.
I'm just talking about the bravery.
I'm not talking about the bravery. I'm talking about the bravery is there. No one said that he didn't have the bravery, but no one made him. No one said that if you don't do this, we're taking it away from you.
Well, we don't know because they said that no man over 18. Well, okay, here. So what I'm saying is this. Every time era, there's going to be circumstances. It's going to be hard to say, is that circumstance more significant than this circumstance? And so, like for instance, with Muhammad Ali and Tyson Fury, okay? Since we're talking about them two, okay? I've sat and watched the Tyson Fury story, and most people probably, when we start having these arguments, none of that's going to get brought into it. But people don't understand. Tyson Fury is bred to be a fighter. This is in his DNA. Okay, his mom comes from a famous bare knuckle fighter who never lost. Okay, he was known as the Gypsy King. Okay, his dad John Fury was a not all-time great. I shouldn't say that, but on the streets, feared bare knuckle fighter, actual fighter. Okay, the Fury he was. Okay, he was born with the story of him being premature, and his dad prophesied over him, said he's going to be the biggest 7 foot, one of the greatest heavyweight champions ever, and he was not projected to live and all that because he was so preemie. And he said he was a fighter even from the beginning. This guy has DNA fighting on both sides of his family. Grew up watching bare knuckle fighting, participating. These kids, these gypsies, is a gypsy heritage type thing, is traveling fighters. They've put food on the table. That's how they put food on the table. That's why he's fighting now. He says it's not about money. These fighters right now fighting for money, all this is, to me, this is a lifestyle. This is a culture. We fought to put food on the table, right? And so a lot of that I include into his DNA because you're looking at, when you compared Muhammad Ali, now also too, what man leaves boxing for 2 years, okay, puts it all down because of his mental health issues, tried to kill himself.
Right.
He said he heard pretty much God's voice and say, dude, don't do this to your kids. He was on that car about to do the whole I'm going to kill myself thing.
Okay. I know the story.
All right. You know the story. Okay. And how you go away and say, okay, I'm going to live, but now I'm going to live, I'm going to live right. I'm going to fight hard, do the Rocky thing, get back in shape, okay, go to the mountains, okay, and fight the most dangerous man in boxing history. They said that right hand is the most deadliest right hand in boxing. Deontay Wilder, 39 out of 40 knockouts.
Okay, right.
All right? Okay. No, I'm not saying he's a great boxer. He's a good, I mean, honestly, if you watch the trilogies, and they were claiming that this is one of the best trilogies ever, okay? I'm anti-Anthony Joshua for being a little chump, but he's a great fighter, but he's a wimp.
I don't take none away from Joshua, but I agree.
Yeah, you ducked this. But anyways, Wilder didn't. And Wilder's a less skilled fighter.
Right.
But he has a bigger heart.
He jumped into boxing.
He's have a heart. Well, Wilder gave him a shot. How are you going to fight the most dangerous man with the most dangerous, knocking out, at that point it was 39 out of 39, I think, or 40, 39 to 40, whatever. And you come back, and not only you get hit with the hardest right hand in history, you get up, and you should have won that fight, but you get up and you fight this dude, and then you come back and you beat him twice again. And just to do that, first fight back after 2-year layoff, right? So you could compare Muhammad Ali, they both did a rope-a-dope. They both are quick hands. He's got just as fast hands as Muhammad. He's got the same jabs. He's actually got different different styles. He can fight from the side. He can fight outside. He can fight inside. He's 270. He can put his body weight on you. He told everybody what he was going to do to Deontay Wilder, just like Muhammad will tell you what he's going to do. Well, this. So with Foreman, so I see him as Muhammad Ali and George Foreman put into one, because as you go further, you always want to have. These guys are prototypes. Jordan was a prototype of what was to come. There was nobody in the league that can do the 1-2 step and pull up like Micheal Jordan. That's why he dominated, right? On the weak side of the floor on the triangle system. Now, you got hundreds of people who can do the 1-2 step.
That's because of him, though.
That's what I'm saying. They're prototypes. But it gets better each generation, right?
Well, it didn't, though.
You know, is Allen Iverson a better crossover person than Kyrie Irving? No. But you can't. It's.
I don't know. You know what? Let me take it back. I don't know.
No, the answer is no to
different.
that. The answer is no to that.
Huh?
The answer is no to that.
Now, I don't know, man.
They said that Kyrie Irving.
I know, Kyrie
they say
Irving
he's the best handles ever.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving is that dude.
Okay,
no,
he's that dude.
I'm not taking. Trust me, Kyrie Irving is that dude. But
But you know what I'm saying.
There's a part of Allen Iverson that a lot of people didn't see play, right? Because the league wouldn't allow it.
Well, but see, here's the thing. What I'm saying, though, is you don't take away from Muhammad's greatness, because his greatness extends beyond the ring. I'm just saying, if we're going to make actual fair comparisons, let's actually do it fairly, right? And not, and it's hard not to. Listen, I'm not saying anybody can do that. It's hard to do that because I'm like, dude, man, listen, I'm black, I'm African American. You talking about Muhammad Ali, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm already almost tuned you out soon the minute you even mentioned that Tyson Fury, Muhammad Ali. Did he get past Mike Tyson? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is LeBron James past Kobe and Kareem and all that? So before I even entertain that conversation, but you know what I'm saying? Bring them down for a second and actually compare.
But when you compare that, when you bring them down, you take away what they were from the get-go. Well, for Muhammad Ali, not Michael, but Muhammad Ali from the get-go was that guy on the top of the mountain.
From the get-go?
In his brain, he started out talking.
Which wasn't done much before.
You're absolutely right. He started out that way. Muhammad Ali has 5 losses as a heavyweight.
Yeah, Tyson doesn't.
5 losses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and then his losses was from the killers.
So his greatness wasn't so much in the boxing. I think so much what he is gets all intertwined into boxing because he has 5 losses.
No, I'm not saying that, but his losses are from killers. They're not from, and his last 2 losses are he just shouldn't have been in the ring.
He shouldn't have been in the ring.
He should. Right. And so I hate to say that. I don't want to say I have to count him, but I don't because he shouldn't have been in the ring with Leon.
But you got to count him. You got to count him.
He was a shell of a man.
You got to count him. He didn't lose. He lost to Frazier.
But Frazier was a killer.
He was.
I'm not saying that.
He was.
And he lost to Frazier coming back from that.
But here's another thing that's not fair for those all-time.
He beat the guy that beat him.
Here's another thing that's not fair for those all-time greats, too, because men evolve. People get bigger.
Man evolves.
Man evolves. They get stronger. I mean, dude, really, if we really sit here and be honest with ourselves, well, he can't beat. No way Tyson Fury can beat Mark. Do you understand physically what we're talking about here? We're talking about a 6'9" boxer who is just as nimble on his feet as Muhammad Ali, who has quick hands just like Muhammad Ali, who has he might even have a higher boxing IQ than Muhammad Ali because he comes from fighting DNA. Okay, it's in his DNA. He was raised as a kid in fighting, fighting in the streets, fighting in the neighborhoods, fighting as a family tradition. They lived in a small trailer, traveling, fighting for food. Okay, that's a whole different level. That's why Giannis to me is one of my favorite, because those African refugees or immigrants and African basketball guys compared to American kids who were spoiled and I'm AU, I'm on this traveling team, everybody wants to see me, I'm the man, everyone's telling me the man. But Giannis comes in and say, I'm hungry.
But do you hear yourself?
This feeds my family.
Do you hear yourself?
This feeds my family.
Do you hear yourself?
What?
You hear yourself when you're talking.
What?
Because we boys. Because we boys.
That sounds pretty cool with my little voice inflections. But go ahead.
And I do it too at times.
What?
We're biased to our upbringing.
No, okay.
No, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
We're biased to seeing how it's just like how we are with millennials and the new generation.
I knew you were going to do that generation comparison. Here it goes.
Because you know how we look at it.
I might have slipped out of that statement. It did, and it's true.
You know?
But I'm also saying the hunger is different.
No, I'm not saying it's not.
From people who's got to feed their families.
But what I'm saying is that we look at things like that and say, that's how I was. And I know he's got that it.
Well, no, yeah.
And so, but then I turn around. Turn around and put it like this. In all honesty, Giannis is a bad man. No ifs, ands, and buts.
He's hungry.
He is. But
it means something different to him.
When you talk about pure wanting to get on the court, give it all on the court, play basketball, and just play and win, Kevin Durant is on top of everything. Because that's all he wants to do. There's no show. Well, he's hungry.
It's called Mamba mentality, right? And
I don't think KD has Mamba mentality. KD has a weird outlook.
Dude, that's Mamba mentality.
Listen, he's got a weird. Kobe Bryant had a weird. Kobe Bryant's mentality.
Well, what's the definition? Well, we define Mamba mentality. I'm defining mentality as I'm putting it all on this floor. The Kevin Garnett. We're not friends. I'm a dog on this floor or in this game or wherever sport you're playing.
You see that?
I'm a dog, but what I'm saying.
Okay, no. I want to ride off of that. What you're saying is that you're not my friend. I'm a dog.
No, I'm a dog.
So
we're gonna go get it.
And so Giannis
is.
Kevin Garnett said this in an interview. He says the difference between LeBron James playing now and Micheal Jordan playing then is LeBron made a difference in when you came into the league, you looked up to LeBron. He's your friend. LeBron was friendly. When let me finish. Right, when Michael came into the league, there was he didn't get to look, because the guys he wanted to look up to, they weren't friends. So Michael did the same thing.
Different era.
So
different ways of thinking.
People were afraid of Michael.
Social media and a world without social media.
Yeah. So that's what it is. People were afraid of Michael.
Right.
Okay. So, and he said, and Kevin Garnett said this. He says, where LeBron lacked that was against people who weren't afraid of him, who didn't like him. Mike Tyson said this.
Now, here's the thing.
Mike Tyson said this.
And here's the thing about that statement. But he's comparing LeBron to the time when he was playing LeBron. LeBron post-Celtics is a total different LeBron.
No.
So I get what he's saying.
No, I'm rounding it back to boxing to what you're saying.
All right,
that's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying, because I'm taking what Kevin Garnett said, and I'm taking what you said.
Right.
Mike Tyson brought it out, and he was talking about him and Muhammad Ali. And he was saying, the Mike Tyson now would kill Muhammad Ali, because my mindset is built on I'm a warrior. When we get in the ring, it doesn't matter who you are. He said the Mike Tyson as a kid looked up to Muhammad Ali so much that I don't know if I could have put that kind of damage on him, because I was afraid of what he was doing, because I saw what he did.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is we got to be careful, because some people say, no way he can fight and beat Mike Tyson. Phil can fight Mike. So, dude, listen,
I don't think. Listen, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that
he does.
Tyson Fury couldn't beat Muhammad Ali.
Well, no. I'm saying.
What I'm saying is it wouldn't be an easy fight.
Well, no, what I'm saying
Tyson
is,
Fury.
but this is what I'm saying. When we compare these greats, we got to go, okay, what can these greats do what these current greats can't do? Instead of saying what these current greats can't do to what these old greats did. And when we do that, because when we do that, this is what I mean. When we do that, we already and there's biases in every argument, right? So it's hard to kind of put this on a neutral playing field. It's hard to do that as a human being, period, because you always have your biases. What I'm saying is if I pull Jordan off the top here for a second and say, let's stop comparing what LeBron James is missing compared to Jordan. Let's start doing the opposite too now. Where's Jordan missing compared to LeBron James? And when I hear all these arguments, I'm sick of hearing that because I'm like, why? Because here's the thing. One, Jordan, at the end of the day, Jordan was a human being, and he was an actual basketball player, basketball player, just like everybody else. Now, he was great, and he rose above greatness. So did LeBron. Okay? Equally, they both became great players above of their generations.
Never take that away.
Right? So, this is what I'm saying but when you're talking about who's the best, then you got to sit here and go, if you're the best and I'm the best, then we got to compare each other equally to each other and to see whose best actually stands out instead of, because you were best before me, I'm being compared to if I can't even be better than you, instead of say, well then, because I'm going to come back at you, so okay, but then what do you can do that's better than me? There's things you can't do that I did. You see what I'm saying? And matter of fact, if we really be serious here and think about it, it was way more things you couldn't do that I did.
Because you didn't have to.
But I'm saying if we honestly
that's being objective. If you don't, if I don't have to do so,
if that's one, you compare old greats to new greats. Let's take a second to fairly be objective to compare them. And then we can put one back on the throne, a new one on the throne, or put the other one back on the throne, or whatever the case may be. And that's what I'm saying. Muhammad Ali, listen, Tyson, let's not get it twisted, people. Tyson Fury is still not greater than Muhammad Ali. He's not there yet. Or we don't know if he ever will be. I'm just saying that that argument's going to come up.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it will.
Oh, yeah. Because the
Tyson argument
it's not going to be can he fight, because honestly, if we do physics, Muhammad Ali probably lose to Tyson Fury within probably 5 rounds, because this dude is 6'9" and can do everything that Muhammad can do, and he's bigger and he's stronger. So he's like facing George Foreman too at the exact same time. He ain't going to rope-a-dope on Tyson Fury. He's too smart, too intelligent. He's too intelligent. How did he beat
Frazier?
Well, no, that's just going, hey, I hate you, you hate me. There's boxing style, clash of styles. That's not going to happen with Tyson Fury at 6'9", 270 pounds, who's smarter than you, and he can also...
Well, you're speculating he's smarter than you.
IQ, basketball, he's fighting. IQ is greater. And it is a speculation.
That's a speculation.
It's a speculation, but he's just as smart as he is, because that's intelligence. Muhammad Ali's intelligence was highlighted in his ring. So was Tyson's. So here's the thing. He can do everything that Muhammad can do, but he's bigger and stronger. So if I can dance around a ring, and I'm the herky jerk, and I can do all that you can do, and I'm stronger and faster and stronger again, and longer reach and higher, physics will say I will destroy you. But what I'm saying in career-wise, same thing with LeBron James. Michael Jordan ain't gonna catch that. I don't care how deadly he want to cut your throat. That's why I hear he want to cut your throat and he want to eat you alive. Well, that's cool and cute and all, but LeBron James is 6'8", 255. He can shoot better. He can score more. He can use his physical body to exert his will on you. Okay, so yeah, Jordan, you can pull up, you can do things, you can shoot your jumper.
He's Karl Malone. This is just a better version.
He's a better Karl Malone. He's a better 3-point shooter.
Karl Malone.
He's a better in the game. I'm talking about like facing each other. Now, greats. Let's go back to what we were talking about. All I'm saying is let's objectively compare to each other, to them. Can Jordan compare to Michael instead of saying, to LeBron, instead of always saying, can LeBron compare to Michael?
But that's not how it is. That's not how it is.
I know it's not.
If you're the king,
I know it's
why
not.
am I comparing? You got to compare to me, not me compare to you. I got here for a reason.
Well, here's the thing, though. You're so right about that. You're so right about that. But then here's the thing. Kings get conquered.
They do. Some kings do.
And when the kingdom is a king, you could be a king, but my kingdom, I'm a king in my kingdom, and my kingdom's greater and stronger than your kingdom. So why do I need you? I need to compare to you.
Are you sure about that?
I'm a king more than you probably. I'm an emperor. I'll eat your little kingdom. And that's what I'm saying. Now, 5 years ago, that was the argument. LeBron's about to pass Kareem.
And LeBron hasn't passed Karl yet.
Well, he's number 2.
Who?
He did pass Karl. He's number 2, isn't he?
No. LeBron hasn't passed Karl yet.
He passed Karl. I thought
I'm
he just
about to
passed.
look.
It doesn't even matter because he's going to pass Karl anyways here in a second. He's going to get Kareem's record in a year and a half at this pace. So it doesn't even make a difference. So what I'm saying is this. That don't even make a difference.
Oh, it makes a difference.
Unless he retires.
Points make a difference.
Unless he retires at the end of the season. You think, is LeBron James retiring at the end of the season?
I don't know.
He's not.
I don't think
He already
so.
said he's not. He just said he's not. So that's
Okay,
not even
he's past Karl.
Okay, there we go.
Hold on.
There we go. So that's why I told you it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's past Karl.
Yeah, all right, there you go. It doesn't matter. He's going to pass Kareem. So the thing is this, unless something tragic happens to him where he can't play basketball for the next year, he wants to wait till Bronny gets into the league. He's going to play basketball into his 40s. So it's over. So what I'm saying is this, he passed Karl. I don't want to turn this into just a LeBron Michael thing. I want to turn it into old greats versus new greats. But I'm saying let's objectively compare these guys. Like, listen.
Oh, no, he's past Kareem.
No, he's not.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I am sure. He's not past Kareem. He's not past Kareem. He's not past Kareem.
Okay, but Kareem.
Yeah.
So here's my deal.
Because we also got to talk about other greats.
We do have to talk, well, there's not really too many other greats to talk about.
Hey, yo, this is Trey Irvin from the Grown Folks Kids Shows, GPS, with my co-host,
the man with the golden mic, the great Gunny.
Check out our hot and upcoming weekly podcast. We talked about comic books, comic book movies, games, sports, wrestling, music, entertainment, social issues. I guess that means we're a variety show for all of you.
So pick your favorite podcast platform, type in Grown Folks Kids Shows GPS, subscribe and follow.
Because we be grown, but we keep it kid. Like Montana and Brady, but that was an argument 4 years ago, not no more.
That's not an argument.
But when you did, but we'll go back 4 or 5 years ago. Same thing. Tom Brady compared to Joe Montana. Mm-hmm. You know, he never lost in the Super Bowl. 4-0 Super Bowl. The same argument they're using for Micheal Jordan.
That's one of them, but yeah.
No, that was the main argument that was using. I remember. Well, Joe Montana never lost in the Super Bowl. Okay, now they're saying that because you didn't lose in the Super Bowl. Okay, you won 4, but Tom Brady's been to 9. Mm-hmm. Now he's won 6 with a different team, by the way. Oh, yeah. It was Belichick. Well, you're not saying that with Micheal Jordan with Phil Jackson. Is Micheal Jordan
Different sport.
How?
It's a different sport when it comes to coaching, and you know that.
No, it's not.
Football and basketball,
no,
2 different sports.
No. Coaching is coaching.
No, that's not true.
Coaching is coaching, dude.
Ask Peyton Manning that.
Coaching is coaching. What do you mean?
Peyton Manning had great coaches.
What do you mean that's not true?
How is coaching coaching?
Can a team play good, win championships without a good coach? I'm just without a coach. Can they just bunch of players get together and just win?
I don't know if they can do it without a coach.
Okay, so you need a coach, don't you?
But I'm saying you have a coach, but it's not the same.
I'm going to break it down to you. You need a coach, right?
It's not the same.
Yes or no? Do you need a coach?
Everyone needs a coach.
All right. Do you need to have plays to run? Do you need to have plays? Does a coach need to draw plays so that players have an opportunity to be
But the head coach don't always draw the play.
Okay.
So, I mean.
Do you need, so here's what I'm saying.
Belichick was a defense guy. He had assistant coaches that did the offense.
Coaches coach. Coaches come up with plays. Plays go out there.
Basketball and football are not the same.
I want to hear this. Explain to me what's the difference between Belichick and Greg Popovich and Phil Jackson.
Greg Popovich is on a whole different level.
And Mike Tyson's what's his boxer?
Okay, but
trainer.
So that's all.
So tell me the difference between trainers and coaches.
That's 3 different sports. The coaching is different.
So because
coaching. All right. So because running track, wrestling, football, basketball, hockey, field hockey. It's bowling. You got coaching. You got coaches in bowling. It's not the same. All coaching isn't the same. If that was the case, then these coaches from the NCAA could come into the NBA and coach, or to the NFL and coach, and be the man.
Charles. So
coaching ain't coaching.
So
you're a great coach, Dre, in your field, but you don't go to football and coach.
Because it's not my sport.
It's not the same game. The coaches are different.
So you're getting to what's a better game. So you're saying
I'm not saying
what's better than basketball?
That's not what I said.
Okay,
I never said that, and you're putting words in my mouth.
No, I know. I did that on purpose.
I said coaching ain't the same.
I did that on purpose. So is it harder to coach in one sport than another?
I think so.
How's that?
Because it's more physical. There's more variables.
So because a game is more physical, it makes it harder to coach.
I believe so.
Then that's why I'll tell you, you're dead wrong. Because what about the mental aspect of the game?
You're telling me that a physical game, which has to have skills. A lot of people makes football like you don't have to have skill. And you got to have skill to play football.
Well, the more physical the game is more on the players.
Right, but there's still skilled players. Every position is skilled. You can't just take a guy off the street that plays in the street and put him on a team.
Yeah, you can.
Not football.
Yeah, you can. If you got a strong...
Very rarely.
It happens. They used to do it a lot in the 70s and 60s.
Well,
guys used to come off the streets.
But that was a whole team, though. They would have a whole team come in.
But if it's a physical thing, and you just put the ball in my hand...
I didn't say because it was...
Hold on. I'm going to give you something.
Okay.
You put the ball in my hand. If it's just physical... or basketball, right? If I'm a good street baller, yeah, I can play in the NBA.
That's not true.
I can play in the NBA. You know, yeah, you can play in the NBA.
You know it's not true.
No, it doesn't mean you go. I'm not saying you'll be successful. I'm saying, can you play in the NBA? If in my peak at 28, 29, I could have played in the league. Would I would have been successful? I don't know. But you could have gave me a ball and say, hey, Drake, I want you to come play for the Sonics, even though we're gone. I want you to come play for the Sonics and come play with these guys. Yeah, all right, I might get dusted or I might not get dusted. I physically can hang with them, right? Doesn't mean I'm going to be an all-star or super successful, right?
Why not? You got to coach, like you said.
Well, no, coach, listen, coaches are there's elements to being a successful because you also have a good GM, okay? You got to put the right players. You got to have the right players, the right systems. You can't just throw anybody together and think you're going to just win.
No, I agree.
All right. So, but you're saying the sport, it tells the degree of coaching, which I tell you is completely wrong because physical actually takes less coaching than sports like golf, sports like baseball, where you got this little tiny ball that can get hit anywhere, and you got to coach these guys. You got to have the guys that be able to know where they're supposed to be, what type of shifts to put on. You got to have situation coaching when situations happen.
Players, so you're speaking about all sports that you have knowledge of.
No.
Football is the same thing.
No. I'm talking about sports in general.
Well, but football's the same thing.
Sports
Everything
in general.
you just named out.
Sports
the
in
same
general.
thing you had to do.
No, I'm comparing your argument.
No, my argument
Your
was
argument saying is that because it's a more physical sport,
I said it's a different sport.
It takes a different level of coaching, and it's a higher level of coaching based on the physicality.
That's not what I said. That's how you interpret it. What I said is you can't compare the coaching.
Why?
You can't, because
I asked you why, and you said because it's more physical.
Because they're two different sports, and then so the two different sports makes the difference. You can't say because Tom Brady was with a certain coach, and then he goes to another team, it wasn't the coach. Because if that's the case, why did Phil Jackson able to do it with two different teams?
I didn't say it wasn't Bruce Arians. I heard Bruce Arians have a lot to do with it. I said that Tom Brady was the catalyst needed to get them over the hump. I didn't say Bruce Arians wasn't the coach.
If Aaron Rodgers went there, do you think that would have got them over the hump?
Maybe Aaron Rodgers hasn't performed well in these playoffs.
No, he hasn't. I'm just saying.
Tom Brady's not the performer.
He's with a coach that don't want him.
So you're trying to say because does coaches impact the same as players? Yes and no. It depends on the players, and it depends on the team, and it depends on the moment. It depends on the time, and it depends on the league. Okay? So,
but that's what I just said.
So,
I said it just wasn't the coach.
You're saying in general.
In general, it's just not the coach.
In general, it's not the coach, which is dead wrong. Because here's the thing. Not just the coach by himself, maybe not. You could say Coach K for Duke Yeah. College coaches a lot. Pro coaches, sometimes yes, sometimes no. It depends on the team. Okay? There's times where coaches came in with a team, with the exact same team, didn't know where the hell they were going. He comes in, what a coach's job to do is to get the best out of their players and what they can do, right? And that's why I said it is about the coach. Also,
but there isn't just one coach. See, this is the problem. You see, we bear it down to the head coach, but the head coach has his own separate coaches for every individual part of the sport.
So does baseball.
I'm talking about all sports.
Okay.
All sports. That's why I said it's not just the coach.
So where is the argument? Where are we arguing about anyway?
We were just talking about
you saying that coaching is different based on the skill level of the sport.
No, I said that the sports, coaching in sports are different. And sometimes it's not just the coach that makes it. It's based on the sport itself.
Okay, so what I'm saying is this. Okay.
What's the most skilled sport that you would think of?
I don't know. Baseball takes a lot of skill.
You're
and so does golf.
Right.
All right. So actually, I'll say golf.
So golf.
All right. Golf is one of the most, you need a lot of skill to play that.
And you know what you have?
It's mental.
You have a coach who has a personal relationship.
Wait, hold on. Why are we doing this about anyways, but old greats versus new greats anyways?
Well, because you jumped off the greats and went to the coach.
Why did I do that? I always have a purpose for something.
Because you were talking about LeBron. We were talking about LeBron and Mike, and then Tom Brady and Montana, and they said it was the coach.
Yeah, so they were saying that it was Belichick, right?
Right.
Because Belichick has a system.
Right.
If you understand football,
he has a system.
There's football, there's certain things, routes and things and defensive schemes that football plays. If all sports is more controlled by the coach, it's football. That's why I'm telling you wrong, especially with football, is because it's actually controlled mostly by the coach because you have schemes and you have schematics and routes.
Well, then I'm not
and things.
wrong with what I just said.
So what I'm saying is they were saying that it was Coach Belichick, which up to that point, yes. Okay? It had a lot to do with Tom Brady's success, but Tom Brady has to execute. You got to have a guy who can actually execute what the coaches want, and you can have a great coach and a bad quarterback, and you don't win. Right. So you got to have it's a sum of all parts.
You can have a great coach and a bad quarterback and win.
Right. Well, that helps LeBron's argument because he never had a really good coach. He's the coach on the floor. Michael Jordan had Phil Jackson, Doug Collins, Dean Smith. Right? Mm-hmm. So, if Michael Jordan was so great, because here's another problem I heard. He has no flaws. I get really upset when I hear that.
Well, everyone has flaws. That's the stupidest thing that anyone ever said. We're humans. We all have flaws. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said.
Listen to people. I'm not a pro LeBron. I'm a pro. Let's objectively argue and take the whole God thing out of this. Okay, when you put these players in God mode, if he has no flaws, then why in the heck did they take the ball out of his hands? Phil Jackson said, well, you guys can't win because Michael Jordan's got the ball in his hands the whole time. Michael Jordan can't lead a team by himself. He already proved that, all right? He can't do it by himself. LeBron did. Jordan didn't, okay?
LeBron did what?
He took that Cleveland Cavaliers bunch of nobodies, Ilgauskas and Verjao and all those guys twice, by the way, before he left.
They were nobodies.
Before he left, they were semi-all-stars, two semi-quasi-all-stars. They weren't great players on that team. Okay, good players, not greats. Okay, as a 22-year-old, his fourth season in the league, 23 in 2007, and then he took that team. And no, I want to hear this whole Eastern Conference completely weak. It wasn't great, but it was the Pistons and the Pacers, the backyard penitentiary boys from Indiana. Okay, all right. So he had to go through those two tough teams to get to the championship. By the way, okay, the Pistons and the Pacers. Okay, without a coach,
he had no coach.
He had a coach. I'm talking about. Sorry, that's a bad statement. He wasn't a all-time great coach. He was a new coach. Okay, brand new. And he did that.
But who's to say he wasn't a good coach?
No, I didn't say, no, he was brand new.
He could have been brand new, but he was putting something out there no one saw before.
Okay, well, but it was LeBron James.
LeBron had a lot to do with it.
All right, so let's not get twisted.
But like you just said, you can't
just... He was a coach on the floor. I'm not going to discredit him, but the coach, to that point. But let's not get it twisted. He ain't no Doug Collins like Micheal Jordan had, okay? Micheal Jordan had 7 years. People always want to forget those 7 years. Just only focus on his ring time. But the thing is...
No one forgets those 7 years.
No, they do. When they make these arguments, they don't ever bring it up.
No, because he was getting his ass whooped, excuse my language. He was getting beat up. Right.
But he had the ball in his hands all the time. Can't lead a team. Okay, so what did Phil do? Feels like this is not going to work. I got this triangle system that's going to give him an advantage. Put him on the weak side of the floor against, at the time, there weren't two guards that were able to guard him. So he's going to be having Paxson and Russell. And the only guard that could guard him was the dude, what's his name, from Detroit.
Watch your mouth.
Right.
He might come to your house and knock on your door.
Right. He guarded him, right? But that's it. No guard in the league can guard him on the weak side. That's an advantage. Drawn up by the coach who took the ball out of his hands and gave it to Scotty. That's why Scotty's pissed off. If Jordan was so great and he won all these championships, the ball wasn't in his hands. It was in my hands.
That's not why Scotty's mad.
He's mad because
Scotty's mad because he don't think that people gives him his flowers. And people gave him his flowers.
That's what I'm saying.
But people give him his flowers
that's what I'm just
all the time.
No, they don't.
They do. Just because someone says you're number two doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
No. He doesn't mind being number two. That's not the question. He's not pissed off being number two. He's pissed off by the amount of times people say that Jordan won those championships and make it act as if he had nothing to do with it.
That's just like saying Brady won those titles.
It was Brady and Belichick.
You always do that to you. The star always gets all the credit, just like when it comes down to it, the star gets all
the time, because Magic and Kareem's always compared together.
But they played together.
That's exactly right. Just like Scotty and Jordan played together.
Because it was Kareem's team when Kareem came.
Like I said,
Kareem was the champion.
When you speak of those Lakers Showtime, you're saying Kareem and Magic.
Right.
You don't say Jordan and Pippen.
You do say Jordan and Pippen. You gotta say Jordan and Pippen. Because it was Batman and Robin.
I would say this. They used to say that, but they stopped saying it because they're trying to make sure LeBron James doesn't take over Jordan's throne. And so they disregard Pippen now. They didn't used to do that, but they're doing it now. Jordan won this. Jordan won that. Jordan did this. And after a while hearing that, you're like, dude, I'm sick of hearing this because Jordan didn't have the ball in his hands. I did. Jordan wasn't winning anything until our coach came into the scene with the triangle. Okay, the triangle won him them championships. He never won a championship outside the triangle, before and after.
That has no bearing.
Right. So that triangle system gave him those championships. The coach who brought that in helped him win those championships. The ball out of his hands helped him win those championships because he didn't trust people. So he wasn't trusting teammates. And you have the ball in your hands, you got to trust your teammates. So what I'm saying is, to wrap this up, when you compare old greats to new greats, I'd say I just wish we have more fairly objective arguments so that you can actually make a true comparison. Because I think like LeBron James and Micheal Jordan, if you take the pictures off, take their faces off the picture and just take all their stats and all the things they did in the game, okay? You line these stats up and line that stuff. There's no way someone's going to sit there and say, I'm picking that guy, which is Micheal Jordan, if you compare all the statistical things.
Why? Why would
because,
you think that?
Why? LeBron statistically, I'm saying on paper, you take the...
No, I do.
You take the picture away. You covered it up with picture, right? And don't say their names of what team they're on. You can say the championships, just don't mention the names, right? And you get a random person who knows stats and looks at the stats, right? Like, well, damn. I'll pick this dude right here. It'll be a LeBron because LeBron better in points, better in rebounds, better in assists.
He's not better in points. He just has more points. He's played longer. If you put stats, the time you played is in there.
Okay, so he didn't average more points in per season. 36.
Their averages are almost the same.
It's almost the same.
Okay.
So I don't understand what you're saying. So he can score. He is a better scorer. Okay.
Are you sure about that?
They said Kobe's a better scorer than Michael.
I can believe that.
All right, Michael.
But also you can look at Kobe. You can look at Kobe's.
He wasn't as hungry as a scorer.
You can look at Kobe's.
Well, I mean, let's look what he just
miss
did tonight.
percentage.
Just look what he just did tonight. The thing about it is, he shoots more. He's a better 3-point shooter. He has a better field goal percentage.
But why is he a better 3-point shooter?
Now, what do you mean? Why is he better?
Why is he a better 3-point shooter?
Because he just is.
He's
a better
allowed to shoot
shooter.
the 3-pointer like that.
Jordan is allowed to do whatever he wants.
You didn't shoot 3-pointers like
he
that.
He did shoot 3-pointers.
Not like that.
Okay, so what? So you
see
you fight okay. That's not okay.
That's an argument.
That's not an argument.
Why is it not?
Because one guy decides to shoot more threes than the other guy.
Because you couldn't during that time.
You mean you? No, okay. That's where we get arguing.
You don't think so?
Because you say statements like that.
You don't think he couldn't?
Use the word couldn't.
You couldn't.
He's Michael Jordan. He can do whatever he wants. If he chose, he did do that before Phil Jackson came in. He was jacking up threes.
He wasn't. He only time he jacked up threes was when they moved the 3-pointer in.
He jacked up threes too, and he did it. He shot 3 or 4 threes a game. He shot 3 or 4.
Okay.
LeBron James don't shoot threes all day long.
I didn't say he did.
Okay, he doesn't have a high. He's not Steph Curry. So the thing, what I'm saying is he's a better field goal. He's a better field goal percent shooter.
The game is different for him to be able to make the points that he is.
Mid-range. LeBron James make more mid-ranges. He shoots a higher percentage at the mid-range than Jordan do. Mm-hmm. Okay? So take the 3. Use the mid-range. He shoots a higher mid-range, a higher 3. He gets his teams involved, higher assists. He's a rebound. He can guard positions 1 through 5. Jordan can't do that. Okay.
Well, of course he guards positions 1 through 5.
He's only 2 inches taller than Jordan.
Yeah, but centers aren't centers now.
But this is what I'm saying. If you compare stats and you look at the stats,
right?
He won championships with all these different teams, and he led each team.
His winning percentage better.
Winning way better. Way better. You know why? I'm glad you said that.
Right.
Because when Jordan left, the Bulls were still winning. Mm-hmm. They still have almost near 6.
That doesn't do what I'm saying. The winning percentage.
Winning percentage is better.
How?
Because he has never had a losing season since being in the league. Ever. Except for now. Okay. Right now. After 20 years in the league, he finally got a losing percentage. Okay, there you go. So when you compare all the stats, points, rebounds, field goals, percentage, PER is only slightly, they're like slightly similar, but that goes into efficiency. Mm-hmm. So you look at the stats, you go like, dang, dude, and he's 6'8", 250-something pounds. I'm taking this dude. He can play every single position. Why would I pick this guy? He's just a shooter.
Well, see, now
and a defender.
But how you're comparing it is how we play the game now.
No, while I'm comparing.
No.
I'm not going to do the generation thing.
I'm not saying you are, but you can't dismiss it because he wouldn't have been able to play all 3 positions back then.
How he wouldn't? Magic did.
Magic did it because
Magic did.
He did it. He didn't do it for a whole season.
He did it.
He did it for a game and a half.
No, not a game and a half. He did do it out through the season. He just didn't do it every game. He did do it. He did play all 5 positions. He'll play a 4 if he needs to.
Yeah, he played a 4, but he was what, 6'7"?
No, he was 6'9".
6'9". So Magic was 6'9". He was almost a 7-footer.
Magic did.
Magic was almost a 7-footer though.
LeBron James 6'8".
All right.
So that's 1 inch apart.
And how tall was Michael?
So when I'm saying 6'6".
Okay.
So when you get over about 6'6", 6'7", it's all really close.
Now?
No, period.
Centers were centers
You're
back
talking
then.
to a 6'8" guy. When I stand next to a 6'6" guy, I'm looking at him eye to eye. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking at him way below like he's 5'6".
You know why you say? Because when someone like me who's 6'1" and sees 2 guys like you, they can tell the difference in your height. You can't tell the difference because y'all are together.
Because we are here. We're equal in height. Only got a few. You don't feel the difference until about 6'10". That's when you start feeling like, oh, God, this guy's big. Mm-hmm. Okay? but I'm 6'8". I mean between 6'6" and 6'10". 6'6", 6'7", and 6'8" feels real close. 6'9", you're kind of getting there, but 6'10", that's when you're starting, because then you get into the tree. 6'10" plus 7-footers. So, but this is what I'm saying though, is that when you compare the stats and you look at it blindly, there's no way you'll pick Michael over LeBron. If you look at the stats, if I was to build a team, I want that guy because he can do everything. Right? So he's a better basketball player in general. But now we'll take the pictures off, and as soon as you see Jordan, you're like, oh, hold on. Right? Because Jordan because it's the eye test. If you go by eye test, which I will go right now I'm about to do the eye test. And I'm going to have to say, yeah, Jordan, because eye test, when I watched Jordan play, he did things that were inhumanly impossible, and the way he dominated the game.
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
So you got one that's the most dominant, and one is the best player, one's the most dominant. So that's how we should compare greats.
I get your skills, but what I'm saying is that there's more to it than just numbers when you're on the court.
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying. We need to have all-around comparisons. Because LeBron is also more than numbers, too.
On the court? I'm talking about on the court.
Okay, so go ahead. Explain.
No, I'm just saying
we're going to wrap
on the
this up
court.
because
You're saying that LeBron is everything Michael was on the court and more. Is that what you're saying?
Everything on the court as Michael was on the court
and more. That's what you're saying. Because most of the time when there's
because there's things that LeBron is not that Michael is, and there's things that Michael is. I mean that LeBron is and Michael's not. Okay, I say they're equally comparable.
Okay,
because LeBron doesn't have that same he just didn't take over games the way Michael did.
I want you to think about this because we have this argument and my takes come out real crazy.
And I'm sorry, people. We had other guys, but Brady does it. I mean, he's just goes to
the only person that's more dominant than those two is Michael Phelps, and we don't have that much knowledge to talk about with Michael Phelps.
And honestly, Brady's go to GOATs. He did at 45
in team sports. Yeah, Brady is the GOAT of GOATs.
He's the GOAT of GOATs. I hate to say this, people. I know you're like, oh no.
Listen, Wayne Gretzky. No. Tom Brady.
I really
the GOATs in team
if
sports.
I knew enough hockey, I will compare Gretzky and Gordon Howe.
What about baseball?
And Mario Lemieux and all that stuff. But I'm not a baseball. We're talking about GOATs. That's a Babe Ruth, Willie Mays. Now, actually, it's a three-way now. It's Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, and Barry Bonds.
I agree.
Barry Bonds and Babe Ruth. Barry Bonds is a better
he's a better baseball player all the way around.
All of them. Because he's the best all-around baseball player. Right. But then you're like, whoa, he juiced him. What were they doing in those days?
Right. No one talks about what they did.
Yeah, they had
drugs they were taking.
They were putting with the pine on the bar tar,
cocaine, amphetamines.
Yeah, they was taking all the things. Man, they took all kinds of things in those days that weren't regulated.
What was it called?
And we're not going to talk about integrity because they were the worst type of people in those days.
Right. They wouldn't even play against them.
Babe Ruth was known as being the horrible guy behind the scenes.
To women, to his fellow man,
to everybody.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying.
But there is Barry Bonds. There we go. Same thing with Barry Bonds.
We'll talk about Barry Bonds in another one because I think he's been shafted from the Hall of Fame.
That's our next sports talk is the double standard in the Hall of Fame because they just let Big Papa in. They let Big Papa in.
That's my biggest argument.
They let him in. They just didn't like Barry Bonds.
They just didn't like him.
Bobby Bonds. And he made a fool of them.
His likability.
That's all it is.
Shouldn't have been a factor.
Big Papa did steroids.
Yeah.
He got suspended for it. Yeah. Right?
You know they're going to let Rodriguez in.
Yeah. No.
He's the face of baseball right now.
No.
He's going to get in.
Watch. He's not going to get
Aaron's going to get in. I guarantee it. He's the face of baseball right now. Him as a commentator,
He's awesome.
him as a commentator. And I don't even like baseball.
He did worse than Barry. He did worse than Barry. Is still alleged. He never got convicted of that. Mm-hmm. His name was on the list, and the dude wouldn't talk.
Right.
And it appears, which I think he did. I'll say, he juiced up, but he did. All right, that's a different topic.
Yeah, that's a different topic.
But what I'm saying is comparing greats.
Okay, so
wrap this up.
Here's my thing.
Compare greats.
And then you compare
Let's take
greats.
people off the thrones for a second and actually compare it.
The difference between 1 and 2 is always a small. The difference between 2 and 3 is where there's the big difference. And my problem is that if you put them both on the court with a team of equal value, you're telling me that LeBron James is better than Micheal Jordan?
Yes.
All around on the court?
Yes, because he does more than Michael.
But what does he do for his team?
Are you really going to ask that question?
I'm asking you, what does he do?
I want you to
what
take a few seconds to think about that question.
To think about it.
Take a few seconds to think about that question.
Because we're talking about Micheal Jordan on a court and his will with his team.
Okay.
And LeBron James. Because you said that they aren't the same on the court.
As in, okay. So this is another thing I hate about the argument is that in order to be a dominant player, you gotta want to cut someone's heart out and stick your tongue out and all
Forget
that stuff.
all of that.
Right?
I'm talking about.
And so the will is, everyone expressed their wills differently. And so, no, he wasn't a monster, like a killer like Michael, but LeBron dominated in a different way because he controlled the whole game.
Okay.
And so here's the thing is that I'll say LeBron. Why? Because LeBron is going to get his whole team involved and Michael's not. That's why.
Why would you think Michael wouldn't?
Because Michael is programmed. Michael's
if you take the best of
score.
Michael and the best of LeBron.
No, it doesn't make. You can do it is later, young years, college years, high school years. They wire differently. LeBron James is the lines of Magic and Scotty and Big O. Michael is along the lines of Jerry West. Jerry West, oh man, all this pause. Pretty much, he's on the lines of Jerry West, Pistol Pete, scores. You see what I'm saying? People that take over games. Michael and LeBron is two different thinking type people. They're two different.
I agree.
Right. And the reason why I will do LeBron over Michael, now if I want to close games, Michael's got to take the last shot. But you're talking about leading their team, doing all of what they do for their team. If I had to choose who would I use to build my franchise around, okay? You can't build around Michael as compared to you can build around LeBron. LeBron leaves, teams are below 400. There's a reason for that. Because he is the facilitator. He is the scorer. He's a rebounder. He's a defender. He does everything on the floor. Everything on the floor. Where Michael is a scorer and a defender. You see what I'm saying? Okay. But he ain't gonna, he doesn't trust teammates. LeBron do. That's why people want to play with LeBron. Michael, not so much. You see what I'm saying? It's because they're two different things. So that's kind of a hard question to ask because it's an easy question to answer, but it's a question probably shouldn't be asked. It should be like
Well, it should be asked because that's the difference between the two.
Well, then LeBron's better.
Well, then if LeBron's team is going to win, then...
Well, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win. I'm just saying...
that's what was my question. If you put LeBron and Michael on a team of equal value,
right?
Which team is going to win?
Equal value, you mean players all match up equally?
Yes.
Okay. But their two guard on LeBron's team is not as good as the three guard on Michael Jordan's team.
It's the same, but that's what I'm saying. Okay. But that's the same as but you're not going to have the same
of equal value
because of how the game
of equal value.
And if we played in the 90s,
a good guard,
I'll make it easy.
A good guard, well, it'd be early 2000s where it wasn't hand checking, but it was arm movement and elbow checking.
Okay.
All right. So that's in between the two eras.
Okay.
All right. And equal value on each side of the fence. Okay. Which means I will take, if equal value, I'll take LeBron only because of this. Michael would demand the ball in his hands too much. You He has because he's Michael. And the ball won't be as distributed.
Why?
Because it'll be upon Michael to do the scoring and everything when it comes to the scoring.
Wasn't that how he played anyway?
Right. No, because that's who he is. LeBron, it will be a team win compared to a few player win. So if LeBron's got the ball in his hand, everyone is scoring.
You think that's going to happen? You actually think that Michael?
And then LeBron too. You don't get it twisted. He is putting up 30 points a game.
No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, when you look at this, you're going to say that Michael's not going to adjust his game to win a game.
No, he won't. Not towards especially if he feels that they lose it. What happens is he will do it for a minute, but then he'll go back to being Michael because that's how he's wired. Mentally, he's wired that way. Like LeBron's mentally wired this way. The reason why I will pick LeBron in that scenario too, here's another thing, is that LeBron can also score. Michael will put up 30, 40, but LeBron's going to put up 30 also. But not only he's going to put up 30, he's also going to get you 10 assists and 10 plus rebounds, and he's going to get some steals, and he's going to shut down the other team's player, just like Michael Jordan's going to shut down the other player. So he brings a little more to the table in that game.
All right, so you're saying
he ain't going to close it now. If it's a close game,
well, it's going to be a close game because it's an equal team.
Maybe not. Because I say that is because LeBron James will get his teammates more involved, and it will be a team win compared to Michael Jordan win. Because Michael Jordan, now if it's a close game, but it is a close game, then forget about it. Michael Jordan's going to win that game. It's not even going to be close. Maybe, I don't know, because LeBron James got more clutch from game-winning shots than Michael. So there you go.
Free throw.
Okay. Free throws.
Well, I mean, he fouled at the end of the game.
Okay. He's got more clutch winning game shots than Michael. So there you go.
Right.
There you go. So it's just like, but so what I'm saying is to wrap this up, and remember, catch us on all our podcasts, whatever platform you use, Grown Folk Kids Show, type it in, grownfolkskidsshows.com, all that good stuff. What I'm saying is this, and thanks for listening. Well, what I'm saying is this. If you compare greats, Muhammad Ali to Tyson Fury, which is going to happen, okay? Once he gets Anthony Joshua in the ring somehow, he's got to beat him at least once before he can get any claim, okay? And those of you who want to understand what I'm saying, go read his history, go historically, dig further into Tyson before we make comments. Tom Brady and against Michael Jordan as the GOAT of GOATs. And Muhammad Ali, all three of them compare or something like that, of Jordan and LeBron, Serena and Chris Everett, maybe? No, not Chris Everett.
It's just Serena.
Yeah,
she wasn't pregnant.
Serena.
She wasn't pregnant.
Yeah.
She wasn't pregnant.
Well, there's so many people. Here's the
Tiger and Jack.
Yeah, Tiger and Jack. You know, when you have these greats, okay, you got to take them down off the throne, the nostalgia, for a second, and actually, what can this great do to the new great compared to the new great, and how this new great compared to the old great, okay? And you could do eras. Well, NBA was more physical in those days. Yeah, that's true. Defense was strong. You ain't gonna come in the league like John Morant and do a 360 on the layup. That ain't happening in Jordan's day. John Morant been flying on the other.
He'll do it once, and that'll be the last time.
That'll be the last time he'll do it, right? But then here's another counter argument. You tell me what offensive skilled players that they were facing those days that these guys can do, right? These guys are hitting half-court shots on a crossover dribble. That ain't happening in those days. No one can defend that in those days. There ain't no Kevin Durant and Dirk Nowitzki 7 foot hitting 3-pointers in your eyes in those days. Mm-hmm. So that negates physicality because that was mid-range game. That's why you can't be that physical beyond the three. You can't.
All that stuff you're talking,
that only
in the game, because at the end of the day, Larry Bird's the best. You're talking to GPS.
Man, GPS, Larry Bird.
Larry Bird's the best.
Larry Bird's the best. All right. Hey, thanks for listening. Peace out.
Peace out.
GPS.